Gentleman yields back. I now recognize Dr. Morrison from the great state of Minnesota for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Williams and Ranking Member Velasquez, for holding this hearing, and thanks to our witnesses for being here and taking the time. Quick shout out, of course, to my fellow Minnesotan, Ms. Westbrook. I love all the Minnesota representation in the House today, Mr. Chair. Thank you. While I was home in Minnesota in August, I had the pleasure of meeting with many small businesses from around my district. We all know small business plays a vital role in our economy, and their entrepreneurial spirit helps them devise innovative solutions to the unpredictable challenges that are thrown their way. One of the critical tools that help our small businesses innovate and modernize is, of course, broadband internet. So many aspects of our lives, such as e-commerce, education, and healthcare, now rely on having reliable, high-speed internet service. As a physician myself, telehealth enabled me to continue to connect with and care for my patients during the pandemic. And since then, telehealth flexibilities have continued to play a crucial role in ensuring patients are able to access the care they need, especially in rural areas. Telehealth options fill a gap in areas where in-person care is limited or specialty care is unavailable. But to access these services, patients and providers have to have reliable broadband connections. So with that in mind, Ms. Jackson-Furman, do you have suggestions on ways that the USF can be improved to ensure that rural healthcare providers have the broadband capabilities needed to provide telehealth care?
Well, we've got specific programs within USF that are designed for specific initiatives such as E-rate and other health services. So I think that if that were a priority, I think that potentially a specific fund could be set aside for something like that. But in the greater realm, if the BEAD funds are expended the way that they're supposed to be expended to achieve what they're supposed to achieve, we should have connectivity. It's an Internet for All program, right? And we think that there may be holes left post-BEAD that Reconnect and different funding mechanisms can help fill. But I think that all of that has to do with deploying the facilities and then having specific USF programs to help people stay connected and to continue to maintain those networks going forward.
Thank you. I appreciate that answer. In June, the Trump administration issued a policy notice making substantive changes to the BEAD program. One of the most significant changes was deprioritizing the installation of highly reliable fiber optic cables and allowing funding to go to satellite broadband technology providers. This change opened the way for Starlink, America's largest satellite broadband provider and a subsidiary of SpaceX, to receive funds for BEAD projects. Ms. Jackson-Furman, again to you. Can you discuss the impact of those changes?
Sure. The biggest impact for providers such as WKNT was losing the fiber preference and allowing fixed wireless and satellite specifically to compete for the funds. The short answer is that it will create a landscape of haves and have-nots for fiber connectivity, which is faster, more reliable, and scalable. So some folks will be left with a inferior service, and that's unfortunate. So a specific impact to WKNT is we lost the opportunity to serve serviceable locations that we would have otherwise served with fiber.
That is concerning. Thank you, and good to know. I'd, of course, be remiss if I didn't mention that Starlink is owned by Elon Musk, and these changes made by the Trump administration came shortly after Mr. Musk's tenure as a, quote, special government employee. In the lead up to the passage of the budget reconciliation bill, the majority attempted to condition BEAD funding on states agreeing to not regulate artificial intelligence for 10 years. I'm concerned about how this would threaten online safety, jeopardize data privacy, and spread misinformation. But I would like to hear from you, Ms. Jackson-Furman, on how linking program funding to an unrelated condition might hinder broadband deployment.
In my opinion, AI is a separate issue from BEAD funding, and they shouldn't be linked at all. AI obviously is a tool that we all use in day-to-day life, and it's exciting and it's new. I think that it does need to have some boundaries on the sides of it to make sure it's used appropriately, but ultimately I believe BEAD funding and AI are completely unlinked.
I agree with you. Thank you, Ms. Jackson-Furman. And thank you, Mr. Chair, and our witnesses. I yield back.
Lady yields back, and it is like being at the Minnesota State Fair with all these Minnesotans here today.